Hey Bidwell Church, this is Pastor Ray. How are you? Right now, I'm on a swing set. That's right, it's Monday. I'm on a swing set, and I remember swing sets being a place where community as a little kid was created. I mean that my friends would come over, or perhaps you remember having a swing set and your friends would come over, and there were just a lot of really cool exchanges that occurred, whether on the swings or in the sandbox or on the slide or on the monkey bars. Swing set had a way of bringing people together around something that we all love to do. Hey, yesterday I preached a sermon on community. It was called Wedding Soup, and I compared the church to wedding soup. All these different ingredients, meatballs, celery, garlic. If you don't know what wedding soup is, it's an Italian delicacy, coming together and becoming one in a warm broth of deliciousness. I said that's what the church is supposed to be. The church is supposed to be warm. When we look at Acts 4, verses 31 through 34, we see a church that is generous and hospitable and welcoming, and just they had radical togetherness, and that was one of the features of the early church that we can look to and say, wow, that's what warm is. And they were one despite their differences, despite all the different people who were coming into that mix, ex-Pharisees, zealots, Jews, Gentiles, Hellenists, widows, rich, poor. The church was created. And I also preached on John 20. There were two Easter texts yesterday. John 20, Jesus breathes the Holy Spirit on his disciples. He's risen from the dead. He commissions them for mission, and he speaks to them about community. If you forgive the sins of any, they are forgiven. If you retain the sins of any, they are retained. So Jesus, when he breathes his Spirit on the disciples, creates the church. It's an amazing text. Easter creates community. So how do we get around what's going on in our lives and what God is doing in our lives and do church in a new way for a new day? Well, one of the things we can do, I said yesterday, was to get real. And by real, I mean, what does it look like for us to be vulnerable about our lack of understanding, our inadequacies, all the bored, lonely, anxious, tired, scared, envious, depressed stuff that doesn't make it on our Facebook profile because it's not cool, but it's definitely real. And we can be real because Jesus is real with us. When he shows up to his disciples in the upper room, he shows them his wounds, and that's how they recognize him. Jesus' wounds make him real. So we can be real with another. And then also the disciples include Thomas the following week. He wasn't with them the first week. They include him. He has his own experience of Jesus by virtue of their inclusion despite his doubt. So how do we be a community of inclusion when it comes to people who don't believe like us? Wedding soup is a great analogy. So are swing sets. I mean, there's so many things that could point us to community and this idea that the Holy Spirit creates it. Hey, I hope you have a good Monday. What does it look like for you to get real with someone and to be inclusive of someone else, perhaps, who doesn't believe like you do? What does that conversation look like? Can you get encouraged this week to do something with that and just to invest in the worshiping people of God, the church, who Jesus has filled with his Holy Spirit and sent on mission? I hope this motivates you on Monday as you look at these texts again that we're studying and as you do your week. Grace and peace.